All right, thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all all had a pleasant, long, enjoyable, peaceful weekend. All right, we are about to get started, but I think Miss Hilton ran out for just a second, so I'm sure she will be right back. All right.
Ms. President, can we have the Zoom link? Good morning, Mr. Copeland.
Good morning.
On cross-examination last week, do you recall speaking with Doug Weinstein about your knowledge of God and knowing that God is in your heart? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And Mr. Weinstein asked you if with God in your heart, that is what you were thinking about when you raised your hand and took the oath. You remember him asking you that?
I don't get what you're saying.
Sure. Last week, Mr. Weinstein asked you when you took the oath when you took the oath to testify, if you had God on your mind. Do you remember him asking you that?
Yes.
Okay. And you said he wasn't on your mind, he was in your heart. Do you remember that?
God, yes.
Okay. And you and I have had discussions about God. Is that fair to say?
Yes, we have.
Okay. And he asked you, Mr. Weinstein asked you, with God in your heart, is everything that you testified to in trial the truth now? Do you remember him asking you that?
I guess, yes.
But that's not actually accurate, is that, Mr. Copeland?
What you mean?
That everything that you testified to in court while you've been here isn't all true. Is that fair to say?
I don't get what you're asking.
Sure.
You say is everything I testify is true?
Yes.
To my understanding, it's true.
Well, I want to play for you State's Exhibit 399Y, which is your testimony from a few weeks ago with you and I talking about your ability to read, okay?
To read?
Yes.
There are those who skip dessert, but when Ghirardelli chocolate chips make cookies this irresistible, dessert is simply unskippable. Ghirardelli makes cookies a bite better.
The Rooms to Go Labor Day coupon sale is going on now. Find valuable bonus coupons in your news.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 332Y.
I can hardly hear it.
Now, looking at
It's not playing right here.
at State's Exhibit 332Y, do you see on here where it says Hertz rental record?
I can't read.
Okay, so you can't see anything on that page?
I can't read.
Do you see the name Jeffrey Williams? Now, do you remember telling me that she couldn't read?
Right. Can I speak on it?
No, not yet.
All right.
There was no explanation of that. I think she's gonna ask him another question and you can, we'll see where it goes from there. Go ahead, Ms. Hilton.
I'm showing defense counsel some exhibits. Thank you. Yes, please. Permission to approach your honor.
You may.
First, tell me if you recognize Stacy for the 401.
You said, have I recognized it?
Yeah.
I never seen it before.
Do you see your name on here?
Yes.
Do you see your signature on the back page?
Yes.
All right, and then you said date of December 13, 2018?
Yes.
And does it say plea of guilty form?
Yeah, yes.
Is this the plea of guilty form you filled out when you took the plea to theft by receiving stolen property back in 2018?
Can you say it again?
Sure. Is this the plea of guilty form that you had to fill out when you took the plea to theft by receiving stolen property in 2018?
I guess.
I'm also now showing you Stacy Gibbon 402Y. Do you see your name on there?
Yes.
Do you see your signature when you signed and date this on August 12, 2013?
I see the date.
Okay. Do you see your signature?
Oh, yes.
Did you fill this out when you took your plea in 12 SC 110195? Which was your enter automobile plea?
I guess.
I guess, is that your signature?
What?
On the second page.
I guess.
All right. I'm also showing you what's been marked as Stacy Exhibit 403Y. Do you see your name on here?
Yes.
Tempo? Do you see the petition of bond that you filled out while in jail trying to get a bond?
You said I filled it out?
Did you write this from the Fulton County Jail?
Yes, I wrote this, but not that.
So you didn't write your petition for bond?
No, that's not in my handwriting.
Okay. Well, I'm showing you Stacy Exhibit 404Y. Do you see this letter that she wrote from the Fulton County Jail?
Again, that's not my handwriting.
Okay. Do you see that this was sent by you from the Fulton County Jail?
That's my handwriting.
This is your handwriting, but you didn't write this in this.
Yes.
Looking at Stacy Exhibit 401 and 402, you're on the state like this, and then 401 and 402Y. What's that?
Admitted.
Do you see here on page 4, you had to write, are you able to read, write, and understand the English language? You said yes.
Yes.
All right. Also here in your plea of guilty form, can you read, write, and understand the English language? You said yes, correct?
Right.
All right. And that's what you signed and date, correct?
I guess.
All right. And last week, do you remember when Mr. Steele put before you the murder warrants in this case? You were able to read the murder warrants in this case?
I don't remember reading that.
Okay. Do you remember when Mr. Shard asked you to read that dismissal form that when your case was dismissed in early this year, that you were able to read that?
He read it for me.
Do you remember reading it yourself?
I remember listening to him and agreeing to, because he reading it for me in front of everybody, so I assumed that what he reading is on there.
Is it the only time that you couldn't read when I had to put something in front of you that dealt with
It's a different, like, that's why I just asked, could I explain to you?
what would you like?
Reading and understanding is different. Like, you putting papers in front of me, like, you read that stuff?
Okay, so is your testimony today that you did not read anything last week when Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard gave you documents to read?
He said, did I read anything this week?
Yes.
I don't. Just looked at the paper. He reading it in front of everybody, so I'm assuming whatever he reading, it got to be on there because he in front of the courts.
Okay. Now, that wasn't the only thing that you have not been honest about with this jury now that you testified. Is that fair to say?
What you mean?
On cross, do you remember Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard asking you about the gang meeting with Mo the day before Nut died?
I'm listening.
Do you remember them asking you about it?
You said, do I remember them asking me about it?
Yes.
I guess.
And this is the same gang meeting that you didn't remember me asking you about it or telling me about it. Do you recall that?
You asked me about it?
Yes, and you didn't remember it when I asked you about it.
What else was it?
An answer. Do you remember not recalling that meeting at all when I asked you about it?
I don't even remember what they asked me about it.
Okay. This gang meeting with Mo, is that the same meeting that you told Detective Thorpe about back in
See,
2015?
I told you, when it came to talk to the detectives, I would tell them anything to get them out my face.
And is this the same meeting that you told Detective Dennis and Gaither about? back in 2015?
I guess, I don't know.
And is this the same meeting that occurred after Rich Homie Quan's car was shot at the studio?
Can you say that again?
This gang meeting with Mo, is this the same meeting that occurred after Rich Homie Quan's car was shot up at the music studio?
Was it after? I don't know.
And is this the same shooting that Nut was at that studio as well when Rich Homie Quan's car got shot up, correct?
Yeah, it's them. I don't know. I don't know who was at where. I don't know.
Now, last week, do you remember saying that that meeting was about you? This gang meeting was about you. Do you remember saying that?
And who I told it to?
Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard.
It's the way that you ask me the question. You gotta ask me the same way that they ask me.
Let me ask you this. The meeting about the gang meeting with Mo, that meeting wasn't just about you, correct?
Was it just about me?
Yeah, was it just about you?
The part I know about.
Wasn't this also about Thug? Weren't Thug discussed at this meeting as well?
Was it what they brought his name up?
Yes.
No.
Do you remember telling Investigator Thorpe that this meeting was about you and Thug?
I told you I had to. You keep going to me. When they question me, I was trying to, bring him in it. I mean, like,
I want to play Stacey did a 370 watt,
I don't get it.
78 watt A at 306.35.
I got this to it.
Yes, please.
What they said yesterday,
It's
Friday.
not playing on this phone.
The meeting,
It's on here, but it's not playing. The headphone might be broke.
Push it, make sure it's all the way pushed.
It's already in.
We'll just play it for a little while, maybe it'll pick up afterwards.
what they said yesterday, Friday, they have a meeting. The meeting, like it was a blood meeting, and the meeting was about me and Doug. You and Doug, me and young Doug. But the whole time, I'm telling you, like, what Doug got to do with this, bro? Yo, bro, young Doug, the rapper. I'm like, what he got to do with this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to him. Like, he with you. I'm like, bro, it ain't no beat, bro. Like, I keep saying out there, y'all you don't know, play no shit, don't play y'all. Listen, but there was a guy that was at me. Said, there was a guy down the road, oh, he's supposed to say, kill me and your dog. So I asked, I got 10 minutes on the phone. I text my phone, like, dang, bro, y'all gonna kill me and dog? I'm gonna let it say, like, ha ha ha. And he like, bro, what you talking about? Like, ain't that like you said? So another guy talking, like, ain't that like you said? I'm like, okay, this is mine. He like, yeah. So next thing you know,
We're gonna stop it at 307.39. Mr. Copeland, you're the person who brought up Thug, correct?
I guess so.
Detective Thorpe never brought up Thug, correct?
Right, correct.
Matter of fact, he had to clarify who you were talking about, correct?
Yes.
All right. So,
Remember how I was telling you that I take a little bit of piece of the truth?
so again, when it has to deal with Thug, that part is a lie. But you being on the plate isn't a lie, but Thug being on the plate is a lie. Is that what you're trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is, when I was talking to Detective Thorpe, I wasn't raised to tell the truth to the police. So, whatever. If you listen to what I said in the interview, I said, what Thug have to do with this? So if it was about me and Thug, why would I be saying what Thug have to do with it? Shit, I would already know.
Okay. But this is because this was a gang meeting that they were putting you on the plate, correct?
I ain't never been on no plate.
Okay. they wanted to kill you, and that's what you told the detective.
Yes, that's what I told the detective.
Now, also on cross-examination, do you recall talking about meetings that you had with the state of Georgia multiple times? Do you remember talking about meetings that you had with Ms. Love, with me, with Investigator Long? Do you remember that?
Yes,
Now, Cross, do you remember Mr. Steele asking you about when I, Ms. Love, met with you at the Fayette County Jail?
okay.
And do you remember that line of questioning?
If you said the same way he did, I will. I remember him asking about childhood.
Now, when we met, do you recall it being me, Ms. Love, and actual investigator Viverito that met with you at the Fayette County Jail?
Which time?
The only time that I ever met you at the Fayette County Jail.
You only came once?
Do you recall me coming to the Fayette County Jail one time to meet with you?
I thought you came more than once.
Do you remember going to,
I'm telling you what I remember. I thought you came more than once.
that's fine. Do you remember me coming with Ms. Love and investigator Viverito?
I thought you came with Ms. Love and Ms. Rolette and Long.
Okay, we'll talk about that meeting, because that did happen, but I wasn't there, but we'll talk about that too.
Sustained.
In November, do you remember us meeting in November of 2022? Sure. Do you remember us meeting in November of 2022?
I remember you down there, we were laughing. Yeah.
And that was the first time we ever met. Would you agree? When I
Yeah,
met
it was the first time I ever seen you.
And do you remember I was standing on the back wall because I didn't know who you were?
Yes.
You were standing on a wall over to the side.
I remember you was quiet most of the time.
And Ms. Love and Investigator Viverito was standing on the other side of you. Do you remember that?
They were sitting by each other, I think.
Yes. And do you remember telling me you don't know me, so you were being very observant of what I would say to you? Do you recall that?
I'm more watching me Burrito.
And why were you watching us give Viverito?
Because she had her phone in her hand, trying to be slick.
And what did you think was happening with the phone in her hand?
Y'all trying to trick me again.
Okay. And we say trick you again. What do you mean?
Well, not y'all, but the state was trying to trick me again.
And when we met, did you tell us that you did not want to testify?
I think so.
And did you told us that you had left all this stuff in the past?
That sound like something I say.
And did you tell us that you were upset because when you needed our help, we didn't help you?
I guess.
Do you remember talking to us about Gaither not helping you out back in 2015?
I guess.
Do you remember telling us that we should have got your testimony back then when you were really willing to help us out?
I guess.
Do you remember talking to Ms. Love about a case that she worked on with one of your friends?
I most definitely do. And she denied it.
All right. And do you remember us talking about the fact that you wanted to write a book
No, I told you I wrote a book.
and that you wanted to get it published, correct?
I said I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to put it out because it had too much violence in it.
And is that what you told us? It had too many bodies?
Violence.
Oh, okay. And did you tell us that you didn't have a court date and you were trying to get you a court date?
That's what I said. Yeah, I said y'all would stop me from going to court.
And did we tell you we want to try to figure out why you didn't have a court date?
Yes.
Isn't it true when we met, we never talked about any details about 2015,
Miss Love tried to.
but we never discussed it, correct?
What you mean?
We never went into details about anything that Little D told you. We never went into details about any of the Club Crucial. We never went into details about the facts of 2015. Isn't that fair?
Overruled. And speak into your mic also when you're making objections. Thank you. They're out. Shocker. All right, we'll let IT know.
But again, we never discussed the facts of that case when we met with you down at the Fayette County Jail.
I don't know. My only concern was telling y'all that y'all were holding me in jail. So I can't really be specific with. I can't recall. You got to tell me what y'all was saying.
The only thing we talked about was the fact that you did not want to be in Fayette County Jail and you wanted a court date so you can get out of jail. Is that fair?
No, we was in there for a long time.
And we never discussed the facts of the case. Correct?
See, you talking. I think I'm more. I think I'm more talking to Ms. Love, and you was just because I just remember you just kept standing there and you trying to act like somebody in the hood. So
Was I just quiet and being myself?
no, you were acting like somebody I grew up with.
Let's focus on what it is that you're trying to have him clarify.
Now, the next time that we met was in May of 2024. Is that fair to say?
I don't keep up with it, time.
The next time we met is when I met you in Pittsburgh, correct?
I think so.
And that was with you, me, and Investigator Long, correct?
Yes,
And we met by the train tracks over in Pittsburgh.
yes,
Is that fair to say? And when you got into the car, you sat in the back seat, correct?
yes.
And I was in the front, Long was driving, correct, or in the driver's seat, correct?
No, he stood outside the car.
And he eventually got inside.
He stood outside. I seen him stand outside the whole time.
And when we first met, I asked you if Melanie was your attorney, correct?
Yes.
And you said you had not talked to him.
No, I said he is my attorney, but I haven't talked to him.
And you told me that he was your attorney because you had not talked to him, correct?
Huh?
What inspires me to win is to see how many people I'm able to inspire along the way.
You may. All right, can you restate that question? Are you saying was not?
Correct.
So,
Isn't it? I will say
Go
that.
ahead.
Yes. Isn't it true that you told me because you all have not talked, he was not your attorney?
No, I had always told y'all he was my attorney. Just I don't talk to him that much.
I asked you if you still wanted to talk to me, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
And we talked, correct?
Yes.
And it was a cordial meeting, which is that fair to say?
I don't know what that means.
It was a pleasant meeting, is that fair to say?
A pleasure.
It was a good meeting.
I just kept telling y'all, leave me out of this. I just want to move forward my life and let my past be in the past.
And when we met, you did not have any pending criminal charges, correct? You didn't have any criminal cases.
So I don't know. I know I had just went to court and played to the last case I had open. Well, I had another one from the jail, but
At the time, you didn't know that had been dismissed. Is that fair?
well, the lawyer just told me they were dismissed.
And when we met in the car, we also didn't go into the facts of the case, correct?
Well, I told you I was lying, and you told me that you know I wasn't lying.
Did you tell us that you just did not want to testify?
What you mean?
Did you tell Long and I you did not want to be involved in this case?
Yeah, I don't told the word that I think so.
And then when we were finishing, I asked if we can meet again on Monday. You remember that?
I guess
And you told me, I'll pray about it. Is that fair?
sound like something I say.
Okay. And we called you on Monday and you did not want to speak to us. Is that fair? All right.
No,
Then,
I don't know, because I still end up down here.
and you came down here later that week, correct? On about Wednesday,
Tuesday.
on Tuesday of that week. Thank you. And when we met on that Tuesday, correct?
I was down here. I don't know if I can't remember if it was you I met with, but I was down here with y'all.
And when we met, you told us you did not want to testify and that you just wanted us to play the tapes, correct?
Cause that's what y'all wanted. That's what y'all say y'all wanted. I don't listen. Now I don't know you. I don't know these trick questions that you asked me or what, but you know what me and you talked about.
Okay.
And I told you that I done lied to these people, and you know got me up here. You talking about I put my hand up to God to tell the truth, and I'm lying, but you can't tell me what I'm lying about and telling the truth about.
When you asked me to just play the tapes, I told you I couldn't just play the tapes, that you had to testify.
Oh, I can't.
So he can say, yeah, that's right. He can say, no, that's not right. He can say, I don't remember. He can say, here's what really happened. I mean, it's not testimony, it's questions. And I have and will again instruct the jury that what the attorneys ask is not testimony, it's not evidence. So I understand, and you continue to have your continuing objection, and it continues to be overruled.
And when I met with you, Investigator Long was present, correct?
When?
Back in June, when you came down to the courthouse.
Oh yes, I think so.
And when we met, did I go over with you in front of Investigator Long my understanding of the events leading up to Donovan Thompson's murder?
Jack, to the relevance of prosecutor's understanding of the facts, she wasn't present.
Can you rephrase the question?
Sure. Did we talk about the events leading up to Donovan Thompson's murder?
I honestly can't remember.
Do you recall telling me that I had most of it correct, but there were some things I had wrong?
I don't remember. I don't. Yeah, I think I told you y'all don't got y'all facts together, but I don't know.
And do you recall telling me that some of the facts that we didn't have together was the fact that you had stolen Donovan Thomas's stuff?
What you mean?
Did you tell me?
You talking too aggressive right now, and it's frustrating me.
Did you tell me that the one thing that I did not have correct is that you were the person that stole Donovan Thomas's belongings?
I guess.
Did you also tell me that when I asked you about the shooting with Thug and Nard in the car on the night that you got into the fight with Kel at Club Crucial, that I didn't have all of my facts together regarding the shooting with Thug and Nard? Did you tell me that?
I don't get what you're saying.
Do you recall telling the detectives about a shooting with Thug and Nard in the car, and you and your brother was in another car, and you saw Nard with a gun, and he racked it, and when you started driving away, you heard shots being
I
fired?
told you here
No, did you tell that to the police?
to my interrogation room.
Yes.
Oh, I tell the police anything.
Do you remember telling me that I didn't have all of those details correct?
No, I don't remember telling you that.
Do you remember me telling you that I had to tell the defense everything that you told me that was different?
You said only thing you told the defense.
Do you remember me telling you that
Mm.
I would have to tell the defense anything that you told me that was different than what was in the interviews?
And this one I switched it up.
And that's why you were mad, because you did not want me to tell the defense the things that you told me that were different.
Nah, I didn't want you to tell them what I said because I didn't want them to tell on me. So when you said that, I was like, don't say that, because I don't want to be exposed.
And speaking about that, when we met, did you tell me that your biggest concern was what the defense?
To my things I did,
Yes.
right?
And did you tell me I don't have a problem testifying for y'all? I'm more concerned about what they know about.
I'm concerned about both of y'all because they can it ain't, cause, I mean, they people, I don't know, it just, man, I don't know, you got me up here and
And you keep telling me that, you keep testifying that you kept telling us that you lied. Is that fair? Do you recall me asking you, what do you lie
Yes.
about? What do you lie about?
you thought I was gonna tell you?
And then I ask you, are you talking about like lying to your girlfriend? What are you talking about?
Because I want y'all to like, cause y'all put me in here and I constantly told you, I know I just told you every time you talk, like I don't lie. So y'all put me up here and y'all be expecting me to remember the lies I done told. Yeah, I better remember the truth.
And remember when we met, you never told me any lie that you said back in 2015. Is that fair?
All the time, to be honest with you, you ask me the question. Anytime I think about anytime me and you met, it was just some laughing, hee ha ha. Like, I don't. Shit, you played on me.
Because we were always cordial with one another. Is that fair to say?
If that's what it means.
We were always on good terms with each other, correct?
Yes.
Now, do you recall also telling me that the defense may have a video with you and others bragging about killing Nut? Do you remember telling me that there might be a video that the defense has that it's you and others bragging about we killed Nut?
What about it?
Do you remember telling me that?
I told you that.
Do you remember me asking you if the video exists, can I have a copy of it?
Huh?
Do you remember me asking you if this video exists, would you give me a copy of it?
I don't even. Shit, when I heard it, them people say over there, I didn't know y'all. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't recall.
So last week when Mr. Steele asked you, there was a video about saying you killed Nut. That wasn't the video, correct? There was a video maybe that said we killed Nut, correct?
What video y'all have?
Is this the video that you said the defense may have?
I haven't seen no video. Y'all ain't showed me none.
During these meetings that we had with each other, at any point, did you ever tell me that what little D told you about the night of Donovan Thompson's murder was a lie?
I don't even, me and you, only time me and you talk about it, it was just, I told you that I made it up. And you like, which part did I make up? And I'm like, they D get into my car saying that this, that. And then you was like, so the D never got in your car and said that they killed, and I'm like, no. And you was like, why is this my first time saying it? And I was like, I was scared. And then you was like, so you asked me about Noah, and I was telling you, I didn't know him for real. And I just made it up. And you was like, and then you were like, well, I gotta let the defense know. And I'm like, damn, you gonna tell them? And then you like, I have to. And then I just like, damn, don't tell them because the defense already saying that, you know what I mean, too much that they don't need to be saying.
Isn't it true that it wasn't until you were about to testify that you told me some different things about what happened that night at McDonald's?
Because you made me feel comfortable.
And that is when you told me that it wasn't Nard that got into your car. It was Little D and Shannon that got into your car.
Huh?
Do you remember telling me on the day that you were going to testify that it wasn't Nard that got into your car on the day that Donovan Thomas passed away, but it was Little D and Shannon that got into your car?
I don't get what you're asking me.
Do you remember telling me, switching your story up, that
No, I didn't switch my story, but I came forward. You made me feel comfortable, and I let you know, like I lied. The D never told me nobody killed nobody when he got in my car.
Did you ever tell me what you told me on June 7th, 2024, that Little D didn't say anything to you? That's what you told me, correct?
You just confused me again.
Sure. When we met in June of 2024, that's when you told me that Little D didn't say anything to you. That was the first time you ever said that, correct?
You said that was the first time I ever told anybody that? So I guess I don't get like I hear what you're saying, but I don't get it. I don't understand it.
It was only in June of this year, that was the first time you ever said that Little D did not tell you anything in the car, correct?
Cause you the first person I ever spoke with that made me feel like you went after me. So it was like you made me feel comfortable to let it be known that shit, I lied. So I felt like you was somebody I knew. And I wanted to tell the truth to you that I made it up.
Also, during these meetings, did you tell me multiple times that you did not kill that when we met?
Say that again?
When we met previously, did you tell me multiple times that you did not kill that?
Yeah, I think I told you that.
Okay. And did I tell you that there was other evidence that supported what you told me? What?
Sustained.
Did I tell you that? Did I tell you? Excuse me, strike that. Did I discuss with you that I could not show you any other evidence because you were a witness?
Huh?
Did I tell you that I could not show you any other evidence because you were a witness in this case?
Now you showing me the pictures and stuff and the phone calls that you're gonna use. That's what you're talking about?
I did show you that. Was there other evidence I told you that I could not show you because you were a witness?
I don't remember.
Now, Mr. Shard on cross-examination asked you if I showed you all of your interviews prior to trial. Do you remember that?
Can you say it again?
Do you remember last week, Mr. Shard asking you if I showed you all of your interviews prior to trial? Do you remember that?
Can you just ask me this question? I don't.
Do you remember Mr. Shard last week asking you if I showed you all 6 of your interviews prior to
If
trial?
you showed me the interviews, what about it?
Do you remember Mr. Shard asking you if I showed them to you? Do you, Mr. Copeland, would you have sat down and watched 21 hours of interviews with me if I asked you to?
I don't even want to sit down right here and listen to y'all now.
Now, Mr. Copeland, after we met in June, you were supposed to testify on June 7th, 2024. Do you remember that?
All I know is I jump when y'all tell me to jump.
On that day, when you were supposed to testify, do you remember pleading the 5th?
So when y'all lock me up.
When you got locked up because you pled the 5th. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
I never forget it.
All right. And you went to the Fulton County Jail, correct?
That's what y'all took me to.
And then you went to the DeKalb County Jail, correct?
That's what they took me to.
And then on Monday, June 10th, there was a meeting in the judge's chambers. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that meeting was with you. Slow down. On that Monday, June 10th, there was a meeting in judge's chambers, correct?
Yes.
And that meeting was with you. You were there.
Yes.
Your attorney, Ms. Bumpus, was there.
And you was there.
I was there. Investigator Long was there.
Yes.
Another investigator, Hamilton, was there.
Trying to look short bald head dude?
Yes.
Yes.
And there were some sheriff's deputies, correct?
A lot of them.
All right. And the purpose of that meeting was to explain to you what would get you out of jail, correct?
I don't know. I don't know the purpose of it.
Did we discuss you getting out of jail?
We been up for a long time.
And did we discuss you getting out of jail?
Yeah, it was some of it.
And do you remember Mr. Shard and Mr. Steele asking you about those meetings last week?
I remember, I don't know which one asked me, but I remember being asked about it.
And is it true that there was some details missing from what they asked you last week?
You tell me.
During this meeting, were you able to talk to your attorney, Ms. Bumpus, on multiple occasions?
She sat right there with me the whole time.
And were there times when we left and you were able to talk to her by yourself?
I whispered in her ear.
But were there times when I left the room, the judge left the room, and you and Ms. Bumpus were in there and you, the two of you talked by yourself?
I think y'all probably left out before. I can't really remember.
And did I tell you in that interview that the only reason why you were in jail is because you pled the fifth?
That sounds like something you said.
And did I also tell you that so long as you testify that you would not be in jail?
Huh?
Did I also tell you that so long as you testified, you would not be in jail?
Well, me and you going back and forth.
And did I tell you that so long as you testified, you would not be in jail?
Yeah, but I was explaining to you why I didn't want to testify.
And did I tell you multiple times in that interview that the state of Georgia did not want you to be in jail?
That sounds like something you said.
And I didn't just say it one time, I said it. You need some water?
Nah, I've been coughing all weekend.
Did I say it to you multiple times in that interview that we did not want you in jail?
I think you said it the whole time.
Now, in that meeting, did I also tell you that I expected you to tell the truth?
And I told you that. I don't lie. If you keep going to the past, if you want me to tell the truth, you can't ask me about what I done told the police because when you know what I mean, I'm just going with the flow.
And do you also remember during that meeting, your attorney asking me if he gets on the stand and says things that aren't true, would I be okay with that?
If I wasn't talking, I don't know.
Do you recall Ms. Bumpus, your attorney, saying, if he says something, that'd be effect on it. If he says he did something and you know he's not telling the truth, what happens? And my response to you is, if he said he did something and he did not do that thing, and she said to me, if you believe he did not, so if you believe that he's lying about that, then I said, then no. If he admits to doing something on the stand and he did not do that thing, I'm going to ask him, this is the first time you're saying that. And she asked, and you have independent evidence to prove it wasn't him, then what? Then nothing. What do you mean? So she said, so you're okay with him if he got on the stand and said things?
Let's help him get to the question.
Is it true that I said, no, I want him to tell the truth. What have I always said to you? I want you to tell the truth. I don't know what's going to come out your mouth, but I expect you to tell the truth. Is that what I said to you?
You told me that if I said I killed Donovan Thomas and I ain't killed him, you're going to lock me up. You said that if I plead the fifth, you're going to lock me up. And from my understanding, whatever I had to say doesn't matter. From my understanding.
And let's talk about the part about Donovan Thomas, correct? Do you recall me saying to you, and this is when, we talk a lot about perjury that in the chambers.
What's the other word is too that I was saying?
Purge. Remember we talking about
Them
purge?
two different words. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Do you remember us talking about perjury and perjury meaning lying on the stand?
I always get confused, but you know it.
And did you have your attorney ask me multiple times, if you testify and say something that I know isn't true, what would happen?
What you mean?
Did Ms. Bumpus ask me on multiple occasions, if you testify and say something that I know isn't true, what would happen?
You told me to, I don't know. I was trying to get it down pat what you were saying, but cause you kept going back and forth about it, cause I wasn't understanding it, the purge and perjury, cause it sounded the same to me. And I was telling you that the stuff I said in the past was a lie. You gotta ask me now I don't know.
Let me ask you this. When the judge was not present, and it was just you, me, Investigator Long, and the sheriff's deputies, and your attorney, did I ask you, did you plan on taking the stand and saying that you killed Nut to help your friends out because you had a meeting? Did I ask you that?
I think I don't know if you asked me that, but I know I told you that I'm not admitted to no crimes.
Okay. And did you tell me you were not going to admit that you killed Nut?
Yeah, I'm not gonna admit that.
And did I then tell you that if you planned on claiming a murder that you did not do, that is when you'll be charged with perjury?
That's what you just said. That's what I just said. You said. If I said it right, and you asked me when you questioned me, did I did, and I told you no.
So you talking about killing Nut, that at no point did I ever tell you if you just admit to killing Nut, you'll be charged with perjury. Did I ever tell you that?
I don't understand you.
So entire, I apologize. I know I.
Excuse me, do you have that great non-alcoholic beer? Okay. Found it.
She's not even asking him things about the transcript right now. She's asking him things that happened not on the transcript.
Now, last week, I believe Mr. Shard asked you if I told you you could say I don't recall to every question. Do you remember him asking you that?
He pissed me off too, so I got frustrated when he was talking to me.
Do you remember your attorney asking me, can he say I don't recall to every question? And my
Which lawyer?
Ms. Bumpus, in that June meeting.
I don't.
Do you recall Ms. Bumpus saying, can he say I don't recall to every question? And my response to her was, I will hope that is not the truth, because I think there are some things you do recall and some things you don't. But the things you don't recall, you don't recall. And I will go through my process of what I do. Do you recall me telling your attorney that?
See, y'all don't understand. Like, I think don't nobody in this courtroom know how I feel to be sitting right here. It ain't about what I recall, what I remember, what I don't remember. It's the functioning of my brain as I'm sitting up here. It's like I'm trying to answer y'all, but my brain is in and out. Like I don't. You feel me? Like, I can't. You ask me. It's how you ask me the question. It better. I'm trying to comprehend what you're saying, and then answer truthfully. But it sounds like a trick question because I don't know how to answer these questions. When me and you talk without being in the courtroom, you taught me on a level where I can understand you good. But when you get right here, the question that you asked me made me feel like I'm in an interrogation room, so I don't know how to answer your questions.
In that meeting, back in June, a few months ago, do you remember me telling you that I just want you to be truthful?
Yes.
And do you remember me saying to you, I don't know what your current truth is, but I know what you told the police back in 2015.
Personal observation.
Overruled. Do you remember having that conversation in the judge's chambers?
Yeah, because I told you that. Y'all don't y'all don't know that. Like y'all don't know. And you said that your mouth did. Yeah, you're right. We don't know what you're gonna say and what your truth is. So.
And do you remember me telling your attorney to talk to you about what impeachment is?
I thought they were the same word as the other perjury, whatever.
But
Ain't they the same?
I can't answer that question for you, but do you remember? Did I tell your attorney to talk to you about impeachment?
Talk to me about impeachment?
Yes.
I don't know. I know most of the time we was talking like I don't. My only thing was I was in jail and I didn't understand what was going on. I just felt like I don't know.
Now, also in that meeting, you said, I did these crimes. Do you remember saying that I did these crimes?
Because I don't want my family to. I don't want my nephews and them to hear the stuff that I did.
Okay. When you said you did these crimes, what crimes were you talking about?
I don't recall
When you say you don't recall, what do you mean?
that. I ain't speaking on. I ain't speaking on.
Were these crimes that occurred back in 2015 or crimes that happened more recently?
I don't commit crimes. I changed my life.
So when you said I did these crimes and Mr. Steele asked you about that, or Mr. Shard, what crimes were you talking about that you did?
I guess the ones in my dream, the nightmares, whatever. I don't know. I don't get what you're asking me.
In that June interview, not interview, in that June meeting that happened a few months ago. And Mr. Steele or Mr. Shard asked you about this last. You said, I did these crimes, I'm telling you that. And my response to you was, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm asking you today, what crimes were you talking about back in June that you said you committed?
I ain't committed no crimes.
Are you saying you haven't committed any crimes?
The crimes I committed for, y'all locked me up for them.
So then when you said I did these crimes, were you talking about things that happened in 2015?
I'm talking about the crimes y'all caught me for.
And to be clear, were you talking about any crimes that are charged in this present indictment?
I'm not a part of it, so I don't know. I never read this indictment and don't want to read it or hear nothing about it.
And let's be fair. Were you in custody between June 10, 2015 and February 2019?
Can you say it again?
Were you in custody between June 10th of 2015 to February 28th, 2019?
February 28th,
Yes.
2019?
Yes. God bless you.
Can you
When did you get out of federal custody?
September 12th, 22nd, one of them days, 2019.
And were you also incarcerated from May 13th, 2020 to May 11th, 2021?
I went back to jail. I did over a year.
Do you remember then going back to jail June 15th, 2021 to July 24th, 2021?
Yes. Oh, you said from when?
June 15th, 2021 to July 24th, 2021.
You said from June to July?
June 15th of 2021 to July 24th of 2021.
So you said I did a month in jail?
Yes.
I don't remember that. I remember going back to jail and both times I went back to jail after I got the feds, I was in there longer than a year.
All right. Do you remember then getting arrested in October of 2021 and then being released in February of 2022?
You said October?